Hello all my dear friend. Today I'm going to discuss about the second part of the techniques of capital budgeting. As of now, in my previous video I discussed about the uh, one technique, that is non-discounting method. Under this we discuss about the payback period and average rate of return, to whom also we say accounting method. So in that we discuss about the payback period, how to calculate. Then there were some limitations also. With that limitation we discussed one by one in with the example. But today I'm going to discuss about the second technique, that is to whom we all can also say modern technique or discounting method. Under this we will discuss about the net present value, how to calculate net present value, then internal rate of return. We will discuss about the internal rate of return, then modified internal rate of return we will discuss, and profitability index as well we will discuss. And in all this technique we will discuss with the different example, and we will try to understand step by step how to calculate and which project after the calculation we will select for the best capital decision. So let's come to the slides and we will discuss there. So let's see the second techniques of capital budgeting. As I told you that we have discussed the traditional or non-discounted method, but today in the second part I'll discuss about the modern and you can also say the discounted cash flow methods or time adjusted method. So as I told you that due to some limitations in payback period or average return of return, which we have discussed earlier, that it ignores the time value of money and other factors. And the fact is that a rupee earned today has more value than a rupee earned after 5 years. So in this technique, the time adjusted or discounted cash flow, we will discuss why this time value of money, and why, because it take into the consideration about the profitability and time value of money. This method also called the discounted method, which is the budgeting, are becoming increasingly popular day by day. So in this method we will discuss net present value first. So let me tell you about this net present value. This is the modern method of evaluating the investment proposal, and under this method it takes the consideration, as I have told you, that time value of money, and it attempts to calculate the return on investment by introducing the factor of time element. And it also recognizes the fact that a rupee earned today is worth more than the same rupee earned tomorrow. So the net present value of all inflows and outflows of cash occurring during the entire life of the project is determined separately for each year by discounting these flows by the firm's cost of capital or predetermined rate. And there are some necessary steps which have to take into consideration for before going to start this calculation or evaluation. So first of all, we have to determine an appropriate rate of interest that should be selected as the minimum required rate of return. And called off rate or discounted rate we have to identify, we have to determine. The rate should be minimum rate of return below which the investor consider that it does not pay him to investment. The discount rate should be either in the actual rate of interest in the market, long-term loans, or it should reflect the opportunities cost of capital of the investor. Second thing, we have to compute the present value of total investment outlay, that is cash outflows at the determined discount rate. If total investment is to be made in the initial year, the present value shall be the same as the cost of investment. Then we have to compute the present value of total investment proceeds, like that is cash inflows, and this should be profit before depreciation and after tax. And then we will calculate the net present value of each project by subtracting the present value of cash inflows from the present value of cash outflows for each project. And if the net present value is positive or zero, that is when the present value of cash inflows either exceed or is to equal to the present value of cash outflows, the proposal may be accepted. But in the case the present value of inflows is less than the present value of cash outflows, the proposal should be should be rejected. Our next step would be to select between the mutual exclusive project, and project should be ranked in order of net present values. That is, the first preference should be given to the project having the maximum positive net present value. And in this now the present value of rupee 1 due in any number of years can be found with this formula, like PV, present value, is equal to 1 by 1 plus R under the bracket then power n. Whereas PV, as I told you, present value, R is for rate of return or discount rate, and n is for number of year. And the present value for all the cash inflows for number of year is found, like PV is equal to, for first year A1, in first year inflows A1 you will write, and the same formula 1 plus R the power then n, then for plus A2 divided by 1 plus R the power 2. Like this is the first method. So let me tell you before going to discuss this thing, that we can calculate net present value with the two way. One way is to by calculating manually, like you have to do like for every rupees 1 divided by 1 plus R, like that. And second way is that we can prepare a table, and that we can use the present value table. It is already available, it is already calculated, only you have to multiply with the value it is there. Like suppose you are getting 10,000 rupees for inflow first year, then you have to multiply by 10,000, multiply by the rate which you have decided earlier, that rate, and you have to find out the value of through the present value table. So this is the second technique we will apply. You can see here that in this net present value already I have taken this you can check here. Let me see, this is the value, sorry, this is the present value. Through this you can calculate, and if the rate of discount, if rate of interest or discount rate is already decided, then you can find out. I'll tell you how to do. So this two way, one way is this one and another one is this one. See, now tell me how, because why we are doing, because if you go through this technique like this, so it will be very tough to calculate and the present value. Why? Because it will take too much time, but through this technique you can find easily. So I will apply this one. I will apply this way, this table, and I will solve the question. Come to the, let's see this time adjusted or discounted method as I have given. This is the question. This is the question before you, that is answer the following question. There are two mutual exclusive project X and Y. The details of the projects are given below, like cash outflow for both the project it is given 1 lakh and 1 lakh. For cash inflows for 5 years, first year, second year, third year, fourth year and fifth year, for both the projects separately it is given to 20,000, 30,000, 50,000, 40 and 30 respectively. Then 35, 55, 65, 20,000, 10,000 as well. Now through this question you have to calculate all this. I am calculating in this video all this value, all this I am evaluating this project through this net present value, then profitability index, then internal rate of return, then modified internal rate of return. In this question it is said that the discount rate may be used at 12%. So let's see, and let's come to the net present value. As I have told you that this is the two way. One way is to calculate manually, like present value is equal to 1 divided by R 1 plus R, like that. On second method, table. So I have inserted this table here, small cut of table I have inserted here, which is required for our question, but it is the complete table. You may find through internet or any book you can find this. So let's come to the solution. First I will calculate this net present value for project X. As I told in the question, it is given cash inflow for project X, it is given 20,000, 30,000, 50,000, 40,000, 30,000. Okay, then see, you can see this table I have divided into 1 2 3 4 A, B, C and D. A is for year, B is for cash inflow, C for present value of rupee 1 at the rate of 12%, and D is for present value. Then you have to multiply B into C, then you will find this value. Let's come to this year column. I have written 1 2 3 4 5. Then cash inflow I have taken from the question 20,000, 30,000, 50 and 40, 30,000. Then this thing I have taken from the table at the rate of 12% for first year, second year, third year and fourth year. Let's see, 12%, is it 12% here? Yes, it is 12%, it is here. see, you can see here first year 0.8928 it is given, for second year 0.7971, for third year 0.7117 it is given. So you can check here the same thing I have taken 0.8928, 7971, 0.711, then 0.635, and then 0.5674. This thing I have taken for 5 years. You can also take this 12 year, if 12%, if it is given for 14%, you have to take for first year 14, at the rate of first year you will check 14% column, then second year 14%, like that you can do. So here I have taken this one, this column, because of 12% already it is given in the question, so that's why I have taken. Then we have completed cash inflow, we have completed present value of rupee 1. Then we have to multiply B multiply by C, 20,000 multiply by 0.8920, you will find this 17,856 for first year. This is, see, you are receiving 20,000, but the actual value would be 17,856. See, next one is 30,000, 23,913, then 35. The same way you have to do. After completing this for 5 year, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you will add up all, you will sum up all, and you will find that 1,19,796. You can see here that present value of cash inflow. Present value of cash inflow would be 1,19,796 rupees. Then what you have to, next step would be, after summing up, next step would be to less or subtract the present value of initial investment. So present value of initial investment is 1 lakh, it is given. You can check here in the question, 1 lakh, this 1 lakh you have to subtract. So you can see here, today you first day you are investing 1 lakh rupees, but you are getting 1,19,796. Here you can see here that it is considering the time value of money. That's why it is coming 1,19,796 amount would be. But if you see this cash flow, if you talk about this cash flow, the entire amount would be 50, 1 lakh, 140 and 170,000. 1,70,000 you are getting, but the actual value would be 1,19,796. Why it is? Because of time. You are considering the time value of money. So you can see here that 1 lakh it is there. So net present value would be, only after subtracting this 1 lakh, your net present value would be 19,796 in case of project X. Let's come to the next project Y. The same way we will do project Y. It is there, same column, 1 2 4 3 4 5 6 5 up to 5. Then cash inflow I have taken from the question, 35, 55, 65, it is given already. Then C section we can see this present value of rupees 1, the same way, and the same value I have taken for 5 years at the rate of 12% I have taken. Then we have multiplied like that, this multiply, this multiply we have done, and we have found out that 31,248 for first year, 43,841 for second year, then third year, fourth year and fifth year. You can check after summing up, you can check that this, in this case, the value is coming 1,39,734 rupees. Then you have to subtract the initial amount of investment which is given in the question, that is 1 lakh rupees. After that you can see here that 39,734. So you can see here that you are going, the same value you are investing in project X and the same value you are investing in project Y, but in case of project X you are getting 19,000 something amount, and in case of project Y you are getting just double of 19,000 or more than this, 39,734 rupees you are getting, right? So now you can decide easily that which project is giving maximum return after the considering the time value of money. So it is easy to understandable here that project Y is giving the maximum amount. So I have written here, note that project Y is preferable because the return is more than project X. So this is the technique through which you can calculate you can evaluate your project. Okay, this is the net present value technique. Let's come for the second one, that is profitability index. This method is a slight modification of net present value method. And as I told, the net present value method has one major drawback, that is it is not easy to rank project on the basis of this method, so particularly when the cost of the project differ significantly. So in this case, to evaluate such project, the profitability index method is most suitable, and this profitability index method is also called benefit cost ratio or desirability factor, which is the relationship between present value of cash inflows and the present value of cash outflows. So in this the net profitability index can also be found as profitability index gross like minus 1. The proposal, see in this case how to accept or reject the proposal. The proposal is accepted if the profitability index is more than 1 and is rejected in case the profitability index is less than 1. The various projects are ranked under this method in order of their profitability index, and in such a manner that one with higher profitability index is ranked higher than other with the lower index. So you can see here that profitability index, there are two things, one profitability index and net profitability index are given over here. So first I will talk about this profitability index, that is under the gross it is written how to calculate. You have to find out first present value of cash inflows divided by initial cash outlay. So you can check here that present value of cash inflows I have written 1,19,796 rupees. See 7,796 rupees divided by 1 lakh. See, the question is same, and this is the project X. Under the project X, first before going to calculate this profitability index, as I have told you that this is the slight modification of the net present value. Only the thing from where you have to change, let's see you have to calculate in the same way. You will write a year, then cash inflow, then you will write the same thing at the rate of 12%, you will write the value, then you have to multiply and you have to find out this value. So first I will talk about project X. It is given present value of cash as of this point. Your value and your calculation would be same. So we have to find out present value of cash inflow, that is 1,19,796 in case of project X. So you come 1,19,000. I have taken the same value which I have calculated in the net present value. Then the 1 lakh rupees amount I have taken because this is the initial outlay or investment of the project. So now you have to divide and you will find that 1.198 is coming. So as I told you that as the profitability index is higher than 1, the proposal can be accepted. So in this case the proposal can be accepted because the value is more than 1.98. Let's come for the net profitability index. Under this you have to find out net present value. See, earlier it was total present value or present value you can say, but here you have to find out net present value divided by initial cash outlay. So let's come and you check. As we have calculated here, net present value is 19,796 in case of project X. Though the same thing I have taken here divided by 1 lakh. This is the initial outlay. Then you will find that 0.198. So as I have told that it should be positive, as the net present value is profitability index is positive. If it is positive, then in case the proposal can be accepted. Okay, so we have completed the project X. Now I will talk about the project Y. The same way I will do through these two technique. One is profitability index of gross, another one is net profitability index. So let's come and see this profitability index present value of cash inflow divided by initial cash outlay. The same amount 1,39,734 for project Y now we are discussing. So we have taken, and 1 lakh initial outlay we have taken. So you can see here that the value again it's coming more than 1.397 it's coming. So here the comment is written in case of project Y also, since the value of present profitability index is higher than 1, the proposal can be accepted. So then you can check through the net profitability index, net present value divided by initial cash outlay. You can check here. I have written this one wrongly. This gross should not be come here where it is. Here it should not come. See this 39,734 divided by 1 lakh. the same way for the project Y we have taken, and you can see here that again the value is coming in positive. So since the net profitability index is positive, so in case also the proposal can be accepted. Now you have to check, as I told you, in both the cases, both the proposal, your project is acceptable, because as per the profitability index gross, you can check the value is more than 1 in both the case, in both the project, and as per the profitability index net, you can check here your value is positive in both the case as well. So now you have how you will decide to which one project would be the more beneficent for the company. So I have taken as per the result, both the project can be accepted, but project Y should prefer first. Why you will choose Y first? Because the value is more than the value is more in project Y than project X, so that's why you will select this project. You should select this project. So this is the profitability index through which you can evaluate your proposal for the capital budgeting. Third one, we will discuss about the internal rate of return. See, this method is also known as a modern technique of capital budgeting, which consider the time value of money. It is also known as yield method or hit and trial method. In that method, it is specified the called of cut-off rate. But under this internal rate of return method, the cash flows of a project are discounted at a suitable rate by hit and trial method, as I told. So which equates the net present value. So calculate to the amount of investment, and since the discount rate is determined internally, this method is called as the internal rate of return method. The internal rate of return can be defined as that rate of discount at which the present value of cash inflows is equal to a present value of cash outflows. The internal rate of return can also be determined with the help of present value tables. So before that, you have to determine the future net cash flow during the entire economic life of project, and the cash inflows are estimated for future profit before depreciation but after tax. Second thing, you have to determine the rate of discount at which the value of cash inflows is equal to the present value of cash outflows. Then you have to accept the proposal if the internal rate of return is higher than or equal to the minimum required rate of return, that is the cost of capital or cut-off rate. The reject, and you can reject the proposal if the internal rate of return is lower than the cost of or cut-off rate. In case of alternative proposals, select the proposal with the higher rate of return as long as the rate are higher than the cost of capital or cut-off rate. See, in this case, you can determine the internal rate of return when, see, the case like we can say when the annual net cash inflows are equal over the life of the asset, and second one when the annual net cash inflows are unequal. So in case of equal, what we have to do, let's have an example like you have an initial outlay of rupees 50,000 and estimated annual cash inflow would be is rupees 12,500. It's example, and life of the asset is 5 years. So you have to calculate the present value factor, that is present value factor is equal to initial outlay divided by annual cash flow. So in this case, you have to divide the initial outlay, which is 50,000, divided by annual cash flow, which I told you 12,500. Then your present value factor would be 4. So this is the simple when your annual cash flow is equal. Now when your annual cash inflow is not equal, then how you to do? So you have to equate the net present value up to some point and some initial outlay. So you have to use the technique hit and trial method. Under the hit and trial method, your discount rate is not fixed and not decided. So you have to choose the sum of the percentage which is going to be the equate of your net present value. Since we are not knowing anything, so in this case the same question I have taken, but for the project Y, project X, I have taken 14%, 18%, 19% and 20%, because I believe that in this 4 percentage our value will be equal to the net present value. And this technique we are using through hit and trial. Okay, so you can say you can see here that I again A B categorized, divided this column A B C D E and F. A is for year, B is for cash inflow, which I have taken from the questions, it is given. Then C is for the discount rate at the rate of 14%, D is for discount rate at the rate of 18%, E is for discount rate at the rate of 19%, and F is the again discount rate at the rate of 20%. So first we will use this thing, A, discount rate at the rate of 14%. Since I have, as I told you that I am using present value table, so the same value from present value table, you can go back and you can check 14%, 14% at the rate of 14% it is given, so I have taken 0.877, like that you can check here 0.869 or 877, like that it is same. Then discount rate cash flow table, 0.869, then 0.7566, 0.657 and 571, the same way I have taken at the rate of 14%, at the rate of 18%, then 19, then 20%. I have taken from the tables this value. Okay, then I multiplied this. I in the C you can check here, I multiply this 20,000 multiplied by 0.869 and the value has come 17,380 at the rate of 14%. In case of at the rate of 18%, I multiply this 20,000 with 0.847 and now it has come 16,940 rupees. In case of 19, I have done the same thing, 0.84 multiplied by 20,000, it has come 16,800 rupees. In the similar way I have done this thing for 20% as well, and I received 16,660. The same way I have completed for 5 years, and now I check that in case of 14%, net cash inflow is 1,10,000. You can check here, you can 1,10,000. For 18% it is 1,02,000. For 19% it is 1,160 rupees, and for F this is 20%, this amount is 97,690. Let me tell you one thing, that you have to check up to that level where your initial outlay is either positive or negative. So you can check here that in case of 19%, it is 160 rupees exceeding, but in case of discount 20%, your value is going to less than 1 lakh. So your your internal rate of return would be lying in this point, 19 and 20, in the mid of 19 and 20. So that's why you can check here, I have written here the present value of net cash flows at 19% rate of discount is rupees 1,160 rupees, and at 20% rate of discount is 97,690 rupees. So the initial cost of investment is rupees 1 lakh, which falls in between these two discount rate. You can check here 1,160 and 97,690. In between these two, your initial investment is lying. So in this rate, and that is 19%, and NPV is in case of 19% NPV, net present value, 160 rupees exceeding, but in 20% NPV is 2,310 rupees is negative, it is in negative. So what we can say, you have to do like this. How we are calculating as 19,000 you will take, and the same way which we have done earlier in payback method, we calculated the value, we have find out the differences. So in the same way you will do here, because 19% you will take, internal rate of return is equal to 19% plus, you will see the first differences, means positive differences, 160 divided by positive differences plus negative differences. So positive differences 160 plus negative differences 2,310 rupees I have taken. Then you have to multiply, then under the bracket you will write maximum, means 20%, under which it is lying 20% minus 19%. Okay, so under this, when you will calculate this 20% minus 19%, 1% will come, and when you will calculate this one, it will come after the calculation. When you will use calculator, it will come 19.06%. the exact internal rate of return is 19.06%. this percentage is equating your net present value. Okay, it is equal to 19.6% is the equal to net present value. So this is the case of in project X. Now come to the see, it is also here there present value I have taken 18.87 and 76. From this you can see see, this is the project Y. The same way we will do this. You can take here, see, in this case I have taken 26%, 26%, 28%, 29% and 30%. Why? Because this I tried, but it is not reaching to that level, so that's why I increases. You have to increase the percentage since up to and until the your value is equal to your initial outlay. So I have started from 26%. You can see here for 26% I have taken in C section, then D section 28%, then E 29%, and then F 30%. Same thing I have taken this question. This is the inflow from the question. Then I multiplied the value I have taken of 26%. You can check here from 26% where it is, say 0.787, then 0.620. 0.787, 0.620 I have taken. The same way you have to take for all the percentage. See, then when you multiply, you will find this value for 26%, this value for 28%, this value for 29%, and this value for 30%. Then you have to add up all. For in case of 26%, your net cash inflow is 1,04,000. In case of 28%, your net cash inflow is 1,02,000. Then in case of 29%, your cash inflow is 1,710 rupees. Then in case of this, see, you can see here is exceeding 710, and but here it is going to be negative 98,000, and it is not exceeding. Your inflow is sorry, yes, your outlay investment is exceeding here. So here you can check again the same way I applied. The present value of net cash flows at 29% rate of discount is rupees 1,710 rupees, and at 30% rate of discount is rupees 98,685. So the initial cost of investment is rupees 1 lakh, which falls in between these two discount rates, that is 29% NPV is 710 positive, but in 30% NPV is 1,315 negative. So we may say that internal rate of return is equal to 29% plus 710. I have taken this one positive, and divided by 710 positive plus 1315 negative. You have to multiply again the percentage, maximum percent minus 29%. You will check, and after the calculation you will find that your net present value or the internal rate of return is lying on this point, 29.35%. see, in this both the cases, both the project are again acceptable, but how you will accept out of these two, in between these two, how you will accept, since you can check here the note I have written, the rate of return of the project Y is higher than the project X, hence the project Y should be preferred. So in this case also you should prefer the project Y, because it is giving you the higher internal rate of return. Now I will talk about the modified internal rate of return. This method is presently being used in advanced countries like USA and others, and this method is also known as terminal value method, which is the improvement over the net present value method of making capital investment decision. See, under this method it is assumed that each of the future cash flows is immediately reinvested in another project at a certain or a hurdle rate of return until the termination of the project. In case of single project, see how you will accept or reject. In case of single project, the project is accept if the present value of the total of the compounded reinvested cash inflow is greater than the present value of outlays, otherwise it is rejected. In case of mutually exclusive project, the project with higher present value of the total of the compound cash flow is accepted. So it is very simple, and the same question also I have taken in this case, and I have taken, under this question we will again calculate the modified internal rate of return for project X and for project Y separately. First again I have divided this column A, B, C, D. You can check A, B, C, D, E and F. Again I have taken year I have taken, then cash inflow I have taken from the question, then rate of interest, this rate of return, and this is the hurdle rate actually, which I assume 12% in this question. The same percentage I have taken. Okay, see, then you can D section, you can see here the year of reinvestment. See, after this 20, when you will receive this 20,000 in first year, after that for how many years you can reinvest this 20,000. So that's why it is very simple to see remaining years. After, see, this project is basically for 5 years, but after 1 year you are getting this 20,000, means you can reinvest this 20,000 again for 4 years. So 5 minus 4, total number of years is 5 minus 1. Why? Because first year you are getting, so total minus 5 minus 4, it will 5 minus 1, it will come 4 years in case of 20,000. sorry, second 30,000, this is you are receiving in second year. For second year you are getting 30,000 rupees. So for this you can reinvest this amount for 3 years. Then third year you can reinvest this amount for 2 years, and in case of fourth year you can reinvest this amount for 1 year, and the last you cannot reinvest this amount. So that's why it is written 0. Now you have to compound factors. See, in this table I have given one compound factor. You can also find through internet, through a book, you can find it. I have taken this 12% 12% rate of return, 12% rate of return. So you have to take this compound factors for 4 years at the rate of 12%. So let's go to the 12% rate, this 12% rate, and after 4 years this point you can check 1.574 for 4 year, then 12% at the rate for 3 year, third year 3 years, let me check, for 3 years 1.405, for 2 year 1.254, for 1 year 1.120, and for so like that I have taken 1.405, 1.254, 1.120, and for the last 0 year here it will be 1 only. So okay, you can check here. After that you have to find out the compound value. How you will find out this compound value? Through this, you have to multiply B into E. After multiplication B into E, you will find this 31,480, then 42,150, then 62,700, then 44,800, then 30,000. You will find like this. Okay, after adding all, this is the compound, this is the compound value. After adding that, you will find 2,11,130. This is the total compound value. Now here is a formula given, present value of the total compounded reinvested cash inflow. It is given PV is equal to compounded value of cash inflows divided by 1 plus K and power 5. 5 is for 5 years. K is for cost of capital. Cost of capital, we assume this 12%. Okay, see, in I assume the rate of interest, hurdle rate 12%, and the same rate, both the rate is same, I assume here. So PV is equal to 2,11,130 divided by 1 plus 0.12 I have taken. This is the 12%, 12 divided by 100, you will find 0.12% under the bracket, then power 5. When you will calculate, you will find this 1,19,960 you are getting. See, in this case I have written the comment as the present value of the compounded reinvested cash inflows is rupees 1,19,960, which is greater than the original cash outlay of rupees 1 lakh, or modified value is positive. Modified value is positive means 1,19,960 minus 1 lakh, so this is positive again, 19,960. Hence the project can be accepted. Okay, in the case of project X, you can accept this. Let's come to the project Y. The same way you will do. Year you will write, then cash inflow I have taken from the question, then rate of interest 12%, which I assumed here, then year of reinvestment, as I told you that this is the remaining year for the reinvestment. For first year your time is remain 4, 3, 2, 1 and 0, like that. Then the same compounding factor at the rate of 12 year. For 4 year 1.574, the same thing I have taken. Then I have multiplied this thing, then it has come 55,090, then 77,275, and I have add up all this. This is value I have add up, then it has come 2,46,274. Okay, so I have calculated this. Then again I have put it into this formula, that compounded value of cash inflow divided by 1 plus K to power 5 is equal to PV is equal to, you can check here, we have calculated 246,275 divided by 1 plus 0.12. Again I told you that this is the 12 divided by 100, this is the 12%, then power 5. When you will calculate, you will find 1,39,928 you are getting. See, in this case also your value, your inflow is exceeding your outlay or investment. So in this case also you can accept the project, and I have written the comment as well, as the present value of the compounded reinvested cash inflows is rupees 1,39,928 rupees is greater than the original cash outlay of rupees 1 lakh rupees, or modified value you can say it is positive with the amount 39,928 rupees. Hence this project can also be accepted. But in this case, if your project is one, it is easy that you can compare with your outlay and you can find the if your inflow is more than your outlay or investment, so you can select. But here in both the cases, both the project, your value, your inflow is more, or your inflow is more than your outlay. So in this case you have to decide which project is giving higher amount. So you can, I have written here that the note as per the result for the both project is acceptable, but project Y can be preferred first due to more modified values, because this 39,928 it is giving in comparison to the project X. So that's why you will select this project. Okay, so these are the compounding factor through which you can calculate. See, in this video we have completed the second technique of capital budgeting, that is discounting method. Under this we have done the question through different techniques like internal rate of return, net present value, profitability index. We have also covered the modified internal rate of return, and we explained the every questions. I hope your concept got clear regarding this, and you can able to solve your question through this technique. So try the different questions in similar with the same methods and at your home. And in the next I will come with the next topic, that would be dividend policy, and under this we will discuss about the various model of dividend like Walden model, Gordon and others model we will discuss. So be at your home, stay safe and stay at your home. Thank you for watching my video. Thank you.